Welcome to the second episode of a new little series we're doing called Spin the Wheel Challenge. This is a point of view street photography video series where I go out and I make photos mainly here in Chicago doing some street photography, but I wanted to put a spin on it. And by doing so, spinning the wheel to kind of limit what I'm going to be photographing and what gear I'm going to be using. So the first wheel we're going to spin is the gear we're going to be using. Now, I use the Fuji X-T3 as my camera body, and I have access to 6 different lenses. The kit lens 18-55, the 16mm 2.8, 23mm f2, 35mm f2, 50-140 2.8, as well as a film lens, a Nikon lens that I have that's a 50mm lens. So let's start there. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel and see what gear we're using today. Alrighty, well that is going to be the 50mm. And again, this is a film lens that I have for my Nikon film camera. It's a 50mm f2. And I also have this little converter here to pop this on, wherever that's at. Let's not break things here, buddy. There we go. So that is what it ends up looking like with the converter. This goes on to my Fuji X-T3. And because that is a APS-C camera, this becomes a 75mm. And that also means that all of my focus is going to be manual. Now, even if this was on a Nikon, this is a manual focus lens. It also has an aperture ring, so I have control of all of that. Let's get to the second wheel that we're going to be spinning, and that is the type of photography that I'm going to be making today. And the options on that one are a color challenge, black and white photography, street portraits, reflection, long exposure, and film. Now, if I ever do land on film, that means we'll just kind of bail on the gear and go ahead and just use my film camera because that's the only one I got. But let's go ahead and spin that wheel and see what we're doing. All right, a color challenge. So that means I'm going to be going out and looking for one specific color. Now, I'm going to decide that in this photo shoot, I'm going to go and look for the color red. Obviously, you can pick whatever color you want to choose if you're going to go ahead and do this challenge yourself. But before we jump into the behind the scenes point of view of this, make sure and follow me over on Twitter and Instagram at I'm Aaron Ross. I'll be sharing these photos over on both of those. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the point of view. Again, I was downtown Chicago using my Fuji X-T3 with the 50mm lens, doing a color challenge with the color red. those are the photos that I was able to make while I was out there doing this challenge. I thought this was a really good one. I think this is something that I really hope to do again, because focusing in on one little color, really training my eye to look for those things and what that color is in contrast to within the context of wherever that color's at. Being able to not just find, oh, I found red, but what is that red saying? Where does that red used for? And kind of how do they all go together? So I hope you saw some of those things too. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of this challenge, and if you have any other ideas of what could go on the wheel for future challenges, because there will definitely be more of these. But in the meantime, I'm going to go make something. I hope you do too.